Have you ever lost by just a couple rounds in Valorant? That dreaded 11-3 scoreline is something we almost always hate to see in our match history. Then you go and you think back about the game and, hey, remember that one round everyone trolled by peeking 1 by 1 in that 1v4 situation? Yep, that was the round that would have been a game decider. Small mistakes are the bane of Valorant players. They can quite literally be the reason you lost your last match. So we're going to talk about how to cut out as many small mistakes as you possibly can today. The first one we want to bring up today is over-aggression. Now, every rank tends to struggle with this, we've noticed, but the thing with over-aggression is it's so easy to do, and you might not realize the implication and negative impact it has on the scoreline before it's too late. One of the easiest ways to counter over-aggression, honestly, it's radar and map awareness. Taking mental notes of where your team is consistently dying at in certain areas of the round so you can try and advise them against peeking that angle that they die to every single round. And when it's not being cognizant of your team's placement, it's just being aware of your own position and what dangers you'll probably face. Try to ask yourself this question briefly every single time you're about to fight someone for space in an area of the map. Do we need this space? Is the risk of me dying worth the reward of, let's say, B Garage on Haven, for example? If the answer to both is no, or maybe you're uncertain, think about other options. And remember, if you're gonna get very aggressive, you have teammates with utility to at least make the process a little easier. This could save you the entire round. Over-rotation is a common problem at every single rank, and it's super easy to do. But with anything, just because it's easy to do doesn't always mean it's good. Don't be too quick to pull that trigger and rotate the second a drone comes out across the map. Anchor players are an important part of Valorant gameplay. And if you don't know what an anchor is, it's basically a player that sticks around on a certain spike site while playing defense until the spike is either on site or your team is 100% certain it's going to be an execute. Try your best not to over-rotate. It leaves the entire site completely free for the taking, and if anything, just play for retake with your team if you don't feel like sitting around on the spike side. Recognize what exactly is happening on the other side of the map. Maybe ask your team to feed you callouts. My favorite thing to ask while sitting on A side ascent and there's chaos happening on B, just a simple line. Are they committing? This simple question will solve your problem with over-rotation. Your team will confirm or deny if they're hitting the site right then and there. Stagnant defaults are just embarrassing. Truly. The point of a default is to find a pick and take space, right? But what happens if the enemy team never gives you guys a free pick? Do you A, keep defaulting every round and waiting for the enemy to eventually give you a pick? Do you B, take initiative in the round and decide to take certain areas of the map in a true push-pull fashion of Valorant gameplay? Or C, let's just rush B, our defaults aren't working. If you pick B, you're correct. If you pick C, you're falling right into the trap that the super cautious, defense-oriented team set for you. They want you to rush straight into sight into their quadruple sentinel setup. Okay. Bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. When you are defaulting, if you go a round or two without taking space, getting no picks, that means it's your team's job to fight for certain areas of the map in order to force the defenders to actually do something. Generally, you'll either find a pick doing this, or your team will gain extra space, making it all the more claustrophobic for the defending forces. And for everything else you need to climb ranks and improve fast, there's SkillCapped. We take the highest priority skills to climb ranks fast, like aiming, and then we break it down into a step-by-step course that's easy to understand. You'll not only learn the basics like crosshair placement and how to master your movement, but also more advanced concepts like getting more multi-kills and repositioning. These courses have been getting 5-star ratings from users just like you, raving at how helpful they are. And that's not all though. Every week, we release 6 brand new VOD reviews where Radiant level coaches teach you how to climb out of the exact rank that you're stuck in. And if you're looking for something a little more personal instead, well, we've got you covered with our new one-on-one coaching over at our SkillCapped Discord. All this seemed too good to be true? Well, don't worry. We're backed by a rank up guarantee, which means if you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back. No questions asked. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Not managing ultimate economy. It's very simple, so we'll touch on it briefly. Most ranks can do this fairly well, but it's not until about Immortal level that it actually happens properly. At least that's what I've noticed. Make sure to ask yourself this question and communicate with the team. How many ults do we need in this specific situation to come out on top? What ults do we need? Do we only need a Brimstone ult to stop the defusal? Do we need to combine it with Sova's ult if we're outnumbered? Remember, not using an ultimate due to the fact that you're pretty much going to win the round without it can lead to you winning another round with that same ultimate, so just be cautious. But do not be an ultimate hoarder that only uses their ultimate for the absolute perfect situation. Your ultimate has a designated value that it's usually good for. If you have Ray's ult and there's a free pick you can get with it to rebalance the round, use it. Don't hold on to it in hopes you'll eventually have a chance to get an ace with it. Another mistake that is highly overlooked, getting way too confident when the scoreline looks pretty. Look, we've all done it. We started to have 7-0 and the team sort of starts to troll and having fun. Next thing you know, it's 7-5 going into the next half. Okay, that's fine. You lose pistol, 7-6. You lose gun round, 7-7. And now you have to save. You get the point. It's important to have fun. It's a game after all, but it doesn't have to cost you matches. And this doesn't mean to start flaming and harassing your team the second they start to have a little too much fun. Just remind them that there's still a game to be won, and dial it in. Keep the scoreline looking good, that way you don't have to deal with one of the worst pains imaginable. Watching your happy team slowly turn to a tilted and angry team as they desperately try to get a round win from the enemies who have snatched the momentum right out from under you. Defense can be hard, it really can be. When the enemy team's just rolling over you and you have no idea what to do, try to change things up. Suggest making plays, swapping positions, anything to avoid being stagnant when you're losing round after round on defense with absolutely no answer. You can always keep trying things, and trying things with your team is much better than just accepting that you're going to lose on the defense side. Try some coordinated pushes, try some bait plays, moving positions, anything to get a little momentum back in your favor, because let's face it, Valorant is a heavily momentum-oriented game. Scrape some rounds together, make some plays, and talk to your team. Who knows? You might just be the team from our last tip that brings things back and wins the game.